I don't know why I got excited about this. A Japan mirror. It just seems like it was kind of obviously going to happen. Like Siberia. I don't know, H2O. Okay. He's already green and he's like, I want to start this. I'm going to green up right now. Black Star probably waiting for us. But H2O, back in 2008, when he did win the World Cyber Games for Age of Empires 3, the Asian Dynasties, Japan was the civ to play. That was the one you did due to the metagame at the time, but also sort of the balance patches that were sort of around back then. H2O's best civ, therefore, is going to be Japan. He's had the most practice playing as Japan, probably than any other player, or certainly is very skilled with them. Blackstar, by no means, well, obviously, Blackstar to get this far is an insanely good player, as we've been saying. But is it going to be enough? Like, H2O's Japan is a force to be reckoned with. And it's like, in a mirror, it is the guy who is probably better mechanically, who is more likely to win. I think you should include that, hopefully, in the VOD, if whoever puts that up. But they've all greened in. Let's get in here. Japan mirror. Vinny, do you want to introduce the players for this one? Go for it.
I think you've done a very good job, so I will just let that to you. You've done the best at introducing players here, so people will know that.
Oh,
I do want to say one thing, though. Just a second.
Yeah.
The thing is that you mentioned H2O was a very good Japanese player. He has been for sure. But there's one thing that goes in favor of Blackstar, or actually makes it a little bit more even, I should probably say. And that is that H2O was very good with jabs back in the days. And of course, a few things change.
That's true. The metagame's different now.
Exactly. And a few of these changes were actually invented by Blackstar himself. Like the semi-FF with Japanese, it's one of the things that he kind of brought through this game, I feel, and a lot of players did that afterwards. So the thing is that he might have a few additional tricks up his sleeve to compete here with H2O in the Japanese mirror on Siberia.
Absolutely. But here he is, Blackstar in the south of the map in the color red, playing as Japan. Perhaps the person we can attribute to for the new Japan meta. The semi-FF you're talking about. We're going to move away perhaps from that H2O, that Samwise 12, that good speed sort of meta game where all these various different people have come up with certain things that are sort of now considered standard. Maybe Blackstar is the guy we attribute to playing Japan as standard. And obviously, I think, wait, do we have an early conflict? Certainly these explorers nearby. No, nothing of real interest. But yeah, Blackstar in the south of the map playing as Japan. There he is, picking itself up 50 wood treasure. Already has a Duba the monkey. And here we have H2O in the north of the map. Very, very, very normal things right now. Consulate's going down.
Sorry, by the way, I do want to quick mention here that H2O has no gold mines in the back. Blackstar has two, so I think Rios is actually better here.
Okay, do it. We should have... Oh, now we have to do all of the introduction again. Or do we just put this in the VOD?
Yes.
I think we should just Rios and you do the introduction again. You're so used to it, it shouldn't be a problem.
I don't know. It'll feel not very authentic to reproduce everything I just said. So I think maybe we do just, if we get into this really quickly, we can just keep that in. I mean, we'd only just gotten into the
that's
game.
true, yes. It's only a second game, doesn't matter.
Holy ball! Look at the game browser. That's incredible. That is something.
That is really something indeed, guys. Thanks a lot for making this additional advertisement for Age of Empires channel. And of course, wow, so many, wow.
I know. I hope that's going on vanilla as well. That's absolutely. Let's screen in. That's incredible.
That's good. By the way, now that we have like a quick second introduction sort of thing, I do want to mention as well that this map was Siberia, and I think it's really good of these players to both pick Japan for this map. The thing is, of course, this map has further food in general. Well, that's not much of a problem for Japan. It is a problem for some other civilizations. And in that regard, I think it's a good thing to pick Japan here.
Hunts look okay to me.
Yep.
Gold mines look okay to me. Both got one in base. That's normal, obviously, next to the tower. Two fairly even on the front. Yep. Both in similar positions for both players.
Then mirrored. Yes, I think this is an exact mirror on the map and
this is a good
civilization. Map. Yes, this is good to
go. Mirror for guys, the mirror. Here we go. Oh wow! But yes, I think we should include that previous one. I don't want to say all of that again. I don't think it would sound very authentic, as I said. Anyway, let's get into this. Here we have the Japan mirror. This time, though, H2O in the south of the map as opposed to the north. Scouting with his cherry rickshaw, very normal things. Picking himself up 50 wood, laying down a consulate. And, of course, we're going to be seeing the same things out of Blackstar. I'm going to briefly preface this for anybody who, is perhaps unfamiliar with Japan, though I suspect the vast majority of people here will know exactly what's going on. Obviously going to ally themselves with the Portuguese consulate. Going to grab that. That reduces the cost of all buildings by 15%, including age-up wonders. and you get a 15% bonus. That's why neither player has built a shrine yet. They want to get that bonus. Going to pick up 175 coin there for
Yep.
Blackstar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was able to rescue 2 monkeys, and of course, normally you can't just get 175 coin with 2 Japanese heroes without taking too much damage. But the 2 monkeys help very nicely, and now he's able to grab that. On the other hand, H2O's Cherry Orchard Rickshaw was scouting here. And I have to think that the 90 wood was in the line of sight. I think it should be.
I think it is. He's going for it, right? He's got 40 wood there, just picking that up. 90 wood, just probably waiting for maybe his stun to recharge, and of course the other monk to come in. He's going to need both of them for this. Wow,
really
nice
like
treasures from both players.
Yeah, yes, I really like what he's doing already. He was already luring the tigers to his one monk by shooting at it and then running away. Of course, this will just everything in a mirror matchup especially, but of course because we have 2 very high level players, possibly the best players, everything matters so much. Every small detail, every time you can win. Every time advantage you can have. If you see, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Oh wow, that was
he stunned
gets the house up.
Exactly.
So he can keep obviously you wait for that upgrade from the consulate, that delays it somewhat. Maybe you don't get your house down in time, you stop your villager production, but stuns the tiger just before the house. Okay.
He used 1 stun before with the other hero, and he had to get his shrine up because he wants to have a constant villager production. But because he was already working on the shrine, on the treasure, he is able to get it now. And now means 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Otherwise, it would have taken him like 20 more seconds. But this means that he can also get his second shrine earlier. And that means his second shrine like 30 seconds earlier is also a small advantage. And that's what it's all about. Get small advantages everywhere you can.
Picking up the small.
And there we have the shrine going up.
Food, though. For shrine going to go down. It's going to help him age up a bit quicker if he puts it on food, or maybe he wants it on wood. You know, get the obviously that's a slower gathering resource. Certainly get more shrines. But 75 food for Blackstar.
Yep.
Going to be aging up. A little bit quicker. Having said that, though, both players very even on the food counts. Maybe one has more villagers in queue or something. No, they don't. It's H2O. Still, despite Blackstar getting that treasure, they're both the same on food value.
Yeah, that is... No, of course, the thing is, they will both have their shrines on food as long as they're not aged up yet. And H2O, of course, has a second shrine available to food. Blackstar has not. But Blackstar might skip a villager. He's gonna build his wonder there. So he's... Oh, actually, they are similar. It's like... Yeah, H2O is like 5 seconds faster with that wonder. But the thing is that I'm very happy actually to see that treasure thing work out relatively even. Of course, 175 coin is very good for Blackstar, but the wood is worth more because it's now 130 wood for H2O. But the fact that he can get a shrine up faster makes it even to me that Blackstar has a little bit more coin. I think maybe even in a small advantage for H2O, but actually very even overall.
Yeah. We got just a quick message from Maito. He says, make sure we record, keep the saved games. I'm sure H2O will be remembering to do that.
Yeah, I can copy it out of my folder.
Yeah. But anyway, back in this game, both players now heading up very even at the moment, though. Of course, H2O does have 3 shrines. He's on 40 population there. Blackstar on only 30. But, just again, back to my brief preface of Japan. We got interrupted by some treasures. Going to be going up with the Shogunate Wonder. Very obvious stuff here. That increases the efficiency, of course, of your shrines and acts as a big shrine itself. Going to put them next to the starting hunts in your base.
Yeah, the Shogun Shrine, by the way, just...
Yeah,
not the Shogun Shrine, yes.
Shame difference. And also, first shipment is heavenly Kami there. That reduces the cost of shrines further and increases the gather rates there. Very, very simple stuff. But the Japan Mirror, should we talk a bit about what exactly Blackstar metagame is?
Yeah, well, what he kind of did a lot and perhaps brought into the meta here is that he went for this semi-FF, and that is actually very strong with a possible follow-up of aging to the 4th age with the Flaming Arrows. The thing is that because of some of these changes, well actually very minor changes, but because more of the changes because in strategy, it's very easy to defend, raid a little bit, shrine the map and then go to the 3rd age. So it doesn't have to come, especially on a big map like this, it doesn't have to come to all out H2 as she was as it was before. And he realized that and thought that okay, the Flaming Arrows actually are quite good in a defensive position. And that's what he kind of made up. The thing is though that H2O does know about it, so he has probably a plan in place for it, and that's what makes me think that Blackstar might want to change it up a little bit.
I love this. It's not very relevant, but they're both people building shrines in exactly the same spot.
Yeah, the thing is though it's closer to Blackstar's town, so he might be able to get the shrines from H2O faster and then vice versa. We see though that here on the bottom Blackstar shrined the parts from H2O, and similarly here on the top H2O shrined the herds from Blackstar. Both of them, of course, going to spam shrines as much as they can. And we see now, by the way, that H2O is up 2 shrines. Well, one shrine was, of course, the fact that he had 90 wood available. But of course, it builds up a little bit because he has one more shrine. He gets a little bit, slightly more wood from his shrines, which are now attached to wood, of course.
Yeah.
On the other hand, he's 2 up. Sorry, yes?
At this point, though, very, very similar stuff. Both players building shrines. Take a look at the improvements tab. The same upgrades, roughly being researched at exactly the same time, finishing at the same time now. Barracks going down for Blackstar, and of course, H2O, well, yeah, there it is. Barracks going down as well. And, a trading post coming out from Blackstar. No doubt we'll see that from H2O as well.
I think that's it's something we talked about last week. The trading post additions for Japan is actually quite good, much better than most people think. Because not only if you go, if you stay in the second age, but mostly if you go to the third age or some semi-FF, it gives you just access to that one additional shipment in a little bit. We see though that H2O is going to sneak in that imperial bureaucracy a little bit faster because Blackstar invested in a trading post. But it is very similar, as you said. This is actually a very standard Japan start. I mean, regardless of the strategy, unless there's some kind of weird rush incoming, regardless of the strategy, this is the thing you do for like everything. You get the upgrades in fast because you have plenty of time to defend, especially in a Japanese mirror. So why wouldn't
Japan
you?
is one of those civs that, well, they can be aggressive with the consulate rush, with the club rush, but it's not very good most of the time unless they're not expecting it. High-level players are going to see that stuff. Very standard stuff. Plenty of time to just lay down shrines. Going to build up to that very powerful late game that Japan have with no worries of any, sort of shenanigans early on. We're going to see a lot of units. It's going to be bloody.
Yeah, and H2O is on 200 population, while Blackstar just finished the shrines to get 170 population. So he is definitely ahead in shrines, H2O is, and then also in economy that you get from it. On the other hand, we see that H2O, actually now just shipped his 4 villages. Blackstar shipped his 4 villages a little bit faster. But the thing that I was surprised to see is that H2O did Imperial Bureaucracy before any gold upgrade, and he had a lot of villages on the gold here. Blackstar has quite some villages on gold as well, but he did the first and second gold upgrade a little bit faster. Although Blackstar did invest in a trading post, and he does not have Imperial Bureaucracy. I really expect to come to research that from him anytime soon, because he's also always so spot on these upgrades.
Yeah. But you are up to date with the early plays. It has begun. First 10 units out for each player. H2O now going to start sieging down the shrines. This is where it begins with the conflicts. Yes, we do have 8. Yeah, going to take some damage. He's not going to want to stand around there. Sees it. Isn't going to lose too many, fortunately, for him.
Yeah, and what we see here is indeed that H2O, like you said, took out a shrine. On the other hand, Blackstar took out a shrine, or is on the left side as well. But the thing is that Blackstar brings his heroes to the main battle. That means he will have a stronger push because his hero can do damage and, of course, tank a lot of damage as well.
Yeah.
But it also means that he's stuck on 160 shrine population because he's not able to build shrines because his heroes are fighting in a battle. Which I'm actually a little bit surprised that he brings both heroes. And now he's going to trapped. He's going to be flanked from.
Wow.
Very nice.
Incoming Ashigaru 10 there. So it's not quite this bad. He's not going to get sandwiched. Certainly is going to be able to get out. But taking a lot of shots on the back foot. This isn't good. And obviously he came all this way away from home to do some damage. And as a result of that, H2O wasn't going anywhere. Was just sieging shrines down. So here now he's disparity in units, but also in shrines.
Yeah. The problem is that because he had his hero in the same group, they slowed down the Ashigarus, and of course
he can lose both those heroes.
Yes, that's very unfortunate. But he also lost a lot of these crossmen and Ashigarus, and that means that H2O has a really good window to push out. We see Blackstar in the back here is aging up, so he's going to continue with his plan. The problem is though, he needs to make army to hold H2O's push, and I'm pretty sure H2O is gonna take out the shrine and then gonna come push more. The thing is, the trading post also comes into play here in that Blackstar can ship 5 Ashigarus
and
to hold longer.
Do you think he has five coming out of that tower? They can spawn at the tower. Do you think they're going to arrive? Certainly going to get pushed back though. Sentries are enough. He doesn't want to fight those.
He's going to have 2 more popping out. Yes, he can just train a lot more from his Rexes as well. It's just like a last option. If H2O pushes in too far, you have 5 Ashigarus available. Blackstar still hasn't researched Imperial Bureaucracy, by the way.
Perhaps that's because he wants to get both players age enough.
Yes.
Certainly got it in queue a bit sooner, perhaps as a result of that.
H2O is aging up a little bit more villages attached to the Wonder, so he will catch up on that. And
true.
And we see now that it's 190 to 140 shrine population, with even 2 villages in favor of H2O as well. So the economy is the same. Sorry, is better for H2O. Village is the same, but the economy is better regarding upgrades, also because he has more shrines. And he actually is aging almost the same time as Blackstar, which means that this game is definitely in favor of H2O right now.
Wow, pretty good. I don't know, this is the Japan mirror though. It's an interesting mirror as far as mirrors go, because there's that dynamic where there are shrines all over the map. You have something to fight for. You're constantly pushing around trying to take out shrines and also defend your own shrines. But here, the Black Star metagame, you get up to the Fortress Age. What do we see here?
Yeah, he's gonna flank from the part where Blackstar doesn't expect it, and there we're gonna have another fight
Oh,
here.
gonna push his unit. Obviously, he can't retreat back to his hometown now. He's gonna, if he wants to leave this fight, he's gonna have to go in the opposite direction of the units and perhaps get caught by
But he
these
has
other
more on the
H2O
way.
units.
He has more units on the way, and Blackstar actually has, of course, some Minutemen in there, which are very low HP. On the other hand, he has his Yumi from the town center, which is doing a very good job in taking out his Ashigaru, so...
Yeah, those things pretty strong, right? Wow. Not too bad for either player here. But
and even H2O managed to upgrade his Ashigarus before Blackstar, so...
Disciplined Ashes, yeah.
That's also where good macro comes into play. He probably had the resources right away, while Blackstar had not yet.
2 cherry orchards incoming though for H2O. They've just arrived. And Blackstar going to have to match this as well, most likely. We'll see though, he's got 1,000 food left in there and a couple of berries left.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to sneak in one more card.
Yeah, if he can sneak in a military unit card, or any kind of card, he's going to have an advantage in that early portion,
but
right?
there's going to be a raid here, and he's going to lose... Oh, he's building castle, so he's going to go for flaming arrows. So he might ship 2 flaming arrows.
2
there
flaming arrows pop out of the town, so they're
Oh.
super close. He's going to use his villagers to try and block them. They're going to get into hand combat here. Going to take that out. Not too good for him at
That's
all.
really
It let him take
unfortunate.
massive damage.
Wow,
in hand
look at
combat.
this! Oh, that's crazy, Marco. One of the Ashigarus was targeted by the flaming arrow, and he ran it right and left to make sure that it delayed the shooting from the arrow. And that way he took much less damage than he otherwise would have. Very, very small detail again, but very good job by H2O.
Yeah.
Micro King as we know him.
Good job. Yeah, but unfortunately they pop out. Oh, I don't know. If he put them on the other side of the town centre, it could have been better. But obviously there's that reaction time.
Yeah.
But you know, he's okay. He's got one with a little bit of damage, plus the other he trained from his thing there. But that's certainly an issue for Blackstar here, who's going to have less.
We see that Blackstar did
Firepower.
consolidate the relations with Portuguese, and he's now, well, actually he's not allying yet, but he's going to ally to Japan, I have to assume.
Yeah.
H2O is doing the same, but a little bit slower. And I'm not sure if H2O saw the castle. I think he barely has, or has, actually I think he has. So we'll have to see what he's going to do. He shipped his 2 flaming arrow there on the right side, as you see. But he might just think, like, okay, 2 flaming arrow is enough. If you're going to make more flaming arrow, I'm just going to win by mass Ashigarus. However, I'm not sure if that's a totally...
Here we go though,
the
2
right
flaming
decision.
arrows gonna get a shot off. No, ooh, it's
Well, actually just one shot. See that Yumi flying there, wow, man.
wow, but it's 4 flaming arrows versus 2 here, and obviously here, 4 flaming arrows have the. You've got loads more. They're going to be able to take out the blue ones, and then because of that, just scale into an advantage because they'll have nothing to deal with them. But here,
Yes,
yeah,
well,
both
actually,
down.
these flaming arrows, if they
3
micro
more
correctly...
incoming.
Well,
Going-
3 more flaming arrows during the
Yeah.
battle.
And he's not like H2 are going to have to leave this. He's not going to be able to. There's no way he can fight 3 flaming arrows. He's going to have to do something. He's going to have to make flaming arrows of his own, or perhaps
Yes.
Yamba same. But those units aren't too good. They're only good against artillery, and they're really bad against everything else due
And
to
that
the
was
low
what I was,
damage.
yes, that was what I was afraid about. I'm not sure if he saw the castle or not, but now he definitely knows there's a castle up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, just 2 more flaming arrows are available for him for his next shipment. But the problem is, Blackstar can keep making more flaming arrows, and I'm sure he probably will
Yeah.
make a few more. And this is a good move. This is what we see. You know your opponent has an... Is he going to catch it? Oh no. You
No.
know your opponent has a slow-moving army, so what will you do? You will either try to flank him, which he might try to set up for a flank.
Yep.
You're going to cut reinforcements with your fast army, or you're going to
Yep.
just raid with your fast army.
Certainly
And make
very
your-
low mobility for the red player here. So H2O, yeah. Do you think it's a flank? It looks like it coming in. Or he's certainly cutting off reinforcements, as you
that's for
mentioned.
sure. He's going to try to cut off reinforcements, but he's
And
definitely going to come
coming
in for
around the
flank.
back for a cheeky raid, like all
This
the
is very
red units
good.
on the front here. That's the ones he's going to see and be concerned about. Here, no, he sees it going to come back. I like how he's fighting in the trees, though. Makes it very difficult to get
Yes.
us around. But
How is he going to micro his cannons?
Yeah,
He's
no,
not-
he's going to be able to get into hand combat. Look at that. So he's going to be able to kill these off. Really not too good. Those things resist massive range damage, no melee damage. Going to go down very easily here. And now there's not very many red units at all. Oh my goodness.
I think this was a very good flank by H2O for sure. The problem is that Blackstar wasn't really expecting it. That's
Yeah.
very unfortunate because look how many Ashigarus he has in the back. The other thing is that he was not microing his flaming arrows as best as he could. He was like targeting one Ashigaru with all the flaming arrows. So then of course you have some area damage. But if he targeted different groups of Ashigarus with the flaming arrows, he would have done so much more damage for sure.
And now H2O just going to power his way through. He's like, hey, I've got way more units than you here. Don't care if you've got these flaming arrows. Just going to shoot them down. Yeah, it's inefficient to do that, but has the units, can just power through here. Has a Daimyo as well. That thing can tank a lot of damage and also buffs all the stats. Look at the outcome of this fight. Blackstar resigns. The second game goes to H2O. I think
well
it was
done.
just the flame and arrow mistake there. Wow, okay. Did you make 9 flaming arrows?
Well, that question is actually quite easy to answer because Blackstar, if you see in the population on the right side, he is still on 130, but also was on 120 population. So H2O invested a lot more into his shrines than Blackstar did, and that's why Blackstar was able to make a castle in his flaming arrows. So basically, Blackstar sacrificed some economy in order to get these flaming arrows out. The thing is, H2O had indeed much better economy. He also has Imperial bureaucracy, while Blackstar did never research and upgrade, I believe. And the thing is that this flank was very good, but it comes down a lot to this early thing from Blackstar, where he pushed out nicely, but got trapped by H2O. And H2O edged up right after Blackstar, so he wasn't behind in that regard. And because his economy was so good, he was able to make so many Ashigarus that in that way the flaming arrows were kind of... He doesn't really care about some flaming arrows if you have like 10 Ashigarus for every flaming arrow extra. That is.
And also, well, he sent no cherry orchards as well, I just noticed. So maybe just you had to commit to flaming arrows because he had no food income, and flaming arrows obviously coin and wood unit. Yeah.
Yeah, we see that his villagers indeed are standing there idle. There was no.
Maybe that's why he quit as well. He was like, I've got no food. I've lost this fight. And I've got no shrine pop. Like obviously H2O 200 shrine pop.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing as well. And of course, H2O also brought his Daimyo, which of course increases the attack, or his HP. What is it? Attack, yes, even more. And yeah, the thing is, this was what I was scared about. I like the idea from Blackstar, but if you lose early your army as early as he did, it's really much harder to hold out, because you have less protection later on, as we see here. The flaming arrows were not as good protected as they could have been. Also, at some point he had like 15 Ashigarus coming from the back, which didn't join his army. So it might have been better for him to go back a little bit with his army and wait for him to merge it to groups and then push out, because every Ashigaru is doing so much output damage when H2O's Ashigarus are trying to target down the cannons, that you will come out much more even. But yeah, well played by H2O. Good flank there. Yeah. It's something I want to emphasize a little bit more, because many players forget that. But flanking is very important, as you see here. You can catch your opponent by surprise, you can cut off reinforcements, and you can make sure that your units come from all directions, and that means that it's harder for your opponent to protect his cannons.
Yep, and I think that was one of the, everything we're saying, but certainly that fight looked fairly okay for Blackstar until all of those flaming arrows went down. Obviously didn't have the economy behind it, but I think that's the end of the game. Any concluding thoughts before we head on into the next one?
Just going to bring the post game quickly here. I bring up, and you see that H2O got his 4 villages a little bit faster. I believe Blackstar indeed forgot to send them. However, that's just like 30 more seconds, no 4 villages. That hurts as well. Yeah. And in the end, resources gathered, you see H2O is on top. Of course, both these players have very good macro mechanics, but the fact that H2O was able to kill a few more shrines of Blackstar and was able to extend his lead to 200 shrine population rather than 120 or 30 from Blackstar means that he is just so much ahead in economy that it then matters less if you go for an age up.
Yep. But we do have the next one coming up. Shall we quit on out?
Yes, I'm out. 2-1 for H2O.
Yeah, the score is 2-1. Yeah, best of 9. Don't go anywhere, guys. I'm refreshing the score in the title, so you can refresh that if you want to.
Yep, I have a scoreboard here up, so with the colors as well. So it means 2-1 for H2O. The first one to win 5 games is going to take home this series, of course.
Yeah. But here we go. I'm gonna wait. Where's my invite? I wanna see the sibs. What do we got next? H2O's game. What's the password? Probably nothing.
Probably nothing. We have 700 viewers. I see. That's so
705. Nice. That's a record for Age of Empires 3 right there. Confirmed. 712. Somebody says. I didn't see that. I think it's time for a straw poll, guys. You ready? Straw poll hype. Who are you? That's going to be the question. Who are you? I do this quite a lot, actually. I'm going to say, I'm a regular. I am a regular to this. I discovered this recently. That's like... And I'll start the poll when the game starts. I think that's probably the best thing. So you'll see the link in the chat as soon as the game starts. And I discovered this today. That's going to be the questions.
Oh yeah, the famous interjection polls. Everyone be sure to vote there.
Yeah. But we do have H2O switching to British on Pampas Sierras, our next map. But Veni, Well, when do we? Obviously, at the moment, we know that neither player can play German. We saw the German mirror. That's disabled at the moment. Then in the second game, we saw Sue and India. Those civs are disabled for the players who played them respectively. Now, both Japan is disabled for both players. And now Russia, so they can't choose from those civs we mentioned, the ones that they've already played. Now going into game number 3, looks like H2O is okay with the Russian mirror. We saw, initially selecting British, but switching it out when Blackstar chooses Russia. What do you think of the Russian mirror?
Yeah.
What do you think? Oh, India's switching.
Blackstar decides he doesn't want a mirror at this point.
Switching to British.
And that's why H2O is going for... H2O wanted to mirror, but of course H2O is very confident in that. But now H2O is going to go for British. I think actually British is not as bad as people think. I mean, they have a decent chance versus India. On the other hand, it is India. So I still have to give the favor to India. But on the other hand, it's H2O. So who knows what's going to happen. He probably has something figured out. Yeah. And now an aggressive British build might be able to get a good timing push out there.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting dynamic. I'm going to briefly explain it. I'll explain it as we click in. Why not?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 3 in the Grand 4. Game number 4. Whoops! In this Grand Finals, H2O versus Blackstar. The score is currently 2-1 in favor of H2O. And we saw all that Civ switching around. I don't know if we're going to include that in the VOD. We're probably going to have to now that I'm going to be talking about it. But a very interesting dynamic. AoE 3 has 14 Civs. Obviously, Ottoman and Iroquois have been disabled, so the Civ pool is actually only 12. But because of that, we want to give both players the opportunity to play a matchup that each of them are comfortable with. You can't say, or like in previous tournaments that, say, I've done, well, not really a tournament, but challenges of the New World, and certainly Saturday SmackDown as well, where people... Like the winner always, or the loser picks first. Like the winner picks first, and the loser gets to select the civilization after that. And because of that, they sort of engineered themselves maybe a civilization advantage. We don't want that. We want both players to be comfortable with the match they're clicking into. So it's more about skill rather than just the matchup. And that's the reason we have those rules. But certainly H2O in the south map in the color blue are playing as the British, sending his scout up this side of the map here, going to grab himself the llamas, which do indeed all spawn down here. But Blackstar playing as India in the north of the map, in the color red, doing the same with his scout, absolutely.
Yeah, I really like that both of these players go for the left right away. Of course, they know the map, how it's laid out. On the left side, we have... sorry, did I say right? I mean left. On the left side, we have the cows, the livestock, and on the right side, we have good treasures. The thing is, it's very important to get those cows for H2O to get his food, but also for Blackstar to get his XP, and that makes it actually even more important for H2O to get the cows as well, because you're not only getting yourself some additional food later on, but you're also preventing your opponent from getting the additional XP. I'm very curious that Blackstar ran away with both elephants.
Yeah, I saw this, like, H2O managed to snare him there, but certainly 2 elephants versus 1 explorer.
I mean, there are many more llamas to capture still. He can't know how many llamas there are still out there. I mean, maybe he thinks, okay, H2O already found a few. But Blackstar is going for 90 food. Maybe that's why he went back.
Yeah,
so H2O has now 2 llamas and Blackstar has 3.
Yeah, we can use the economy tab for that as well, which is pretty useful.
That's good. It makes it easier for me not to count it.
The military tab is also pretty good. I think it's like the problem with this tab is I'd like to see all of this information on screen all at the same time. Yeah, it might look a bit cluttered, but it would be really useful. But at the same time, it's getting used to this thing, like clicking through all the different tabs. It's kind of frustrating, but it's a very, very good. I'm very, very thankful for Azamp here. We do have a 75 wood treasure.
Yeah, but that's interesting. But also interesting is that this villager was coming out there. And then
red identifies it, bringing in the scout. Look at the villager going in for it. Wow. Okay,
well, maybe he wants to prevent. I think he wants to prevent the aggro fort, but it's not going down yet. I mean, that will take some time.
Hurting. I thought he was going to use the
aggro fort. Look at this. H2O knows that he has to stand right, left there. On the top there's a gold mine. On the bottom there's wood. On the right side there's a herd. So the only place where Blackstar can put down his fort is like between the mine, left of the villager, on top of the treasure.
Yeah. But also that villager there, denies the 75 wood, makes it very difficult for H2O to pick that up. Also a very good place to put the aggro fort, as we're saying. And H2O...
Blackstar is going to go up with the aggro fort there. He's going to take map control. I'm not sure if I like that. I maybe would have liked it a little bit more like in the center here. A little bit towards the left to secure a little bit more of these hunts.
Yeah.
But as it is, it's going to be put down over there. And he's going to get this 75 wood himself, which is of course a very nice pickup.
Yeah.
Not sure why his villager is going to be...
He does get the opportunity to fight, perhaps, in this in between the river there. Do you think that's a relevant placement for the Wonder to
Could be
protect
later.
her?
By the way, I see that he uses villager to attack the Guardian, and maybe it would be hard to calculate it, but maybe those 2-3 hits from the villager was enough to make sure that he could kill the Guardian on time before H2O came in to possibly steal it.
Yeah.
However, again, he is. I'm really not sure why he would be running away with his elephant so much. Oh, he wants to get the Inca.
Pick up that, Inca Humanica. That guy's pretty strong here. But if he gangpiled that Explorer there, could certainly do a lot of damage to
that
him.
Explorer. Yes, yeah, for sure. Also, by the way, if he wants to do that, it's better for him to fight near the aggro fort rather than outside on the map. But he somehow get away. Look at this. What happened there?
Yeah,
maybe they let him go. Mercy.
Maybe, or can you perform the trick with India where if you hit them just as they hit you, you snare them and they snare you, and then you run?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I believe you can't. But I'm not sure, to be honest.
I don't know how that interaction works with India.
We see
But H2O going to pick up the Inca.
Yep, that's a very nice pickup for him. But you see that Blackstar did decide to build the Wonder with one villager rather than just letting it build by himself, and that way he's able to age up at the same time as British. H2O already brings in his additional hunt there, as you see, and he also brings in his hunt from left side, which means he still has one hunt to work on later on. I really would like to see Blackstar bringing in this hunt over here towards his aggro fort, just to make sure that H2O doesn't get it. That's actually probably more important.
Yeah, deny the British hunt, and also it's an extra one for you. Absolutely, has the villager nearby. Perhaps he'll do that once that has finished with building the aging up. But both players up at the same time. Obviously, India can age faster with more villagers on it, but doesn't want to do that. Knows he doesn't need to do that in this matchup. British, very boomy civilization, as we know, getting lots of free villagers, and they're usually going to want to make use of that bonus when they're building manors, and aren't going to be aggressive because it means it's more difficult to do that. So it has the time to get up a little bit more slowly here. But do you think we have attacking this guy's Explorer?
Yeah, he was. HO was trying to capture the elephant with to attack the elephant with both the with both Mr. Ryan, actually, if you click on his Explorer, and and his Inca, but Blackstar ran away because he was expecting that already. We see it H2O aged with 500 food rather than the tower. So he doesn't think he needs any additional protection. He prefers to go for the food. Of course, this map is not the most food available. Still, though, I'm not sure about it. 5
Sepoy coming out, though. Starting with the 5 Sepoy, training them as well. 10 Sepoy now, going to come in. Obviously, get 2 as well for free for building the aggro fort. Not going to be starting with 600 wood or anything like that. Gonna play this aggressive. Going to come in for a villager kill. Obviously, the scouts there, he sees it now. Do you think he'll get a villager?
Well, if he blocks them, he didn't block them. He ran away. He should have blocked them.
Yeah, if he put those elephants in the way, certainly could have been good. Does going to take out the Explorer there though, and does deny his opponent the ability to. Minutemen coming out though.
Yep, and I really like that the Inca and the town center are targeted on the elephant because the longbowmen will do more if the elephant is dead. He calls out Minutemen as well because he knows he's going to lose a lot of units otherwise. Yeah. And actually I feel this is quite a decent trade for H2O. It's not that bad that he lost these longbowmen in this case.
But still a small victory for Blackstar in the sense that he forced his opponent to send Minutemen. That resource is gone, he knows that now. And also all of those villagers were tied up in that town center and they weren't able to gather. But yeah, it does look like a favourable outcome in terms of military for H2O though.
Well, the good thing is that Blackstar has some upgrades. He has done the first tire upgrades and is now working on the second foot. But the thing is that he did make 5 Sepoy and shipped 5 Sepoy with, of course, lower economy, while the British guy shipped just 700 wood. And I'm not sure actually if the trade was really like. I feel that the trade was good for H2O actually. Yes.
Yeah.
And H2O is now going very aggressive, shipping 6 musketeers there.
Yeah.
And of course making 5 more longmen, and he still has a Minuteman available as well.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, I'm really surprised to be honest, because I feel that Blackstar can just go back, sit around his fort and mess up some more units. I'm not sure if the 6 musketeers was best. I think H2O wants to go for a timing push, and that's why I think maybe 600 wood before, like for example 600 wood first and then 6 musketeers to really make that timing push stronger might be better than what he's doing now. On the other hand, maybe he was expecting like an all-out rush from Blackstar, perhaps even camels, and that's why he might want to
could be a little bit scared.
Better safe than sorry, and ship his musketeers to protect himself for anything that might come. The consulate goes up for Blackstar. That means that he has 600 wood as a second card. Yes, he has. And H2O making units from 1 Rex. He did boom a lot, by the way. 1 Rex just, and he's on 110 population with only the 700 wood so far. Yeah. There we have 600 wood
600 wood behind it. Gonna lay down even more manor houses. And I think this is a good choice. The 600 wood, obviously 5 villages at this point, is way better than 600 wood in terms of direct the amount of villages you get out of it. But 600 wood here allows him to add down more infrastructure. And indeed, actually, all of the manors give you XP when they're built. And this is going to ramp him into the next few shipments. So
He's
it's
gonna lay down
interesting.
stable.
Certainly doesn't need the population, but yeah, stable going down.
I'm really surprised. I'm really curious to see what H2O will bring up here. Obviously, it's not going to be a 2-Rex, at least not at this point, but just stable and a... also steel traps, by the way, he sneaked that in. More houses, so more economy, so he's definitely going to go for a timing push, because if you look at this, by the way, Blackstar is on 43 out of 50 population, H2O is already on 62. So he's probably going to go for a little bit more economy and then just all-out army from there, I have to assume.
This just looks like normal India stuff, actually. He's except for the 5 set boy, starting with that, being aggressive. Perhaps, you know, if his opponent's British wants, maybe he can sneak in some early damage, catch his opponent off guard. Didn't go too well, but knows identified that, perhaps not going to commit to it. Sending 600 wood behind it, and he's got all of his upgrades. Looking good. Has the, of course, now got the Ottoman Consulate, 50% research for the 4 settlers. He's, it's looking okay.
Yeah, I'm really surprised to see what's going on. We see HO is going to scout with his hero. Very good thing most people forget.
Yeah.
You want to see what a Blackstar has and if he can fight it, yes or no.
H2O is keeping it away. Look at that. Saw like his explore the Agrafoot was shooting it. Doesn't want to give H2O that scouting information.
Exactly. Good
Moves
thing.
his units away so that...
Problem is at this point, Blackstar doesn't know about the stable from H2O yet. So H2O has 2 Hussars, that's not that much, but I think that he might think of pushing with the next batch of 5 Hussars. And if Blackstar is going to only make Gurkhas from now on, he's definitely going to find himself in a difficult position then. And of course, the economy-wise, H2O is 9 villages ahead, and Blackstar only has 1 trickle, but he doesn't have steel traps, or actually the equivalent of equivalent. He doesn't have. He only has the the second tire foot upgrade.
Yeah. So 8 villages behind, first tier market upgrades. Only the 1 trickle, yeah, but he can still send it, but obviously that slows him down in terms of whereas now I'm sure from H2O when the timing is real, yes, 700 coin going to come out, just going to turn that into straight up military units, and then perhaps cavalry combat or something. A trickle isn't going to help you in that fight. You want it early so it works off
there we have the expected push with 5 more Hussars, and of course, like you said, everything into military because he had 700 coin working for him and everything else on the food and wood. 4 camels being shipped, and now he's kind of scared, I think, because he can't really engage these Hussars. I feel there's not enough Sepoy.
Yeah.
I really hope he's going to queue up some Sepoy Zamborek. He has a stable up.
He does, but he's got a nice position. All 3 cavalry coming out, of course, from the guard. The guard and the Hussars very, very strong here. Does have the advantage of fighting near this coin mine in this Agrafoot. Very awkward placement for his opponent's cavalry here. Looks like those musketeers in the back for H2O aren't able to do any damage. They're just walking around not really doing anything. So at the moment, Blackstar looking okay in this fight until the musketeers start to do some damage.
On the other hand, the Lomomans constantly standing there are doing a lot of damage.
Those things are absolutely...
But the camels get a quite good position on the Lomomans, and if they can break through here, because there's no musketeers in front of the Lomomans to kind of defend from this. But there's so many musketeers in the back here.
There's that.
Looking good for H2O.
It is looking good. The Gurkhas do have a decent ranged attack if he can fight away from the musketeers. Certainly, and he's got the cover of the Agrafoot. Maybe more units popping out there. Perhaps a shipment as well. I don't know what India has left. It's not over just yet. This is a good position for Blackstar to fight in, but H2O certainly has more units.
Yep, and he probably wants to wait for like 4 camels or something. He's trying to target the musketeers, as you see with his Gurkhas, but all the time the Longmans do such a good job, such insane damage. And look at H2O. Look at He's expecting camels to pop out, and he wants to melee them right away.
He keeps his musketeers there, just ready for when the units pop out. Does have 3 Sowars in queue, Blackstar. 4 now. They're probably almost about to pop, and the musketeer. Yeah, but the cavalry coming forward from H2O as well. Obviously, that's 700 coin. Just translating it into these units here, and has boomed all of that behind this. The timing push, it's real. Look at the units here.
Yeah, and I think actually that Blackstar is quite okay still. H2O did a good job here. Also very nice that he chose to reinforce with Hussars rather than the infantry. He had enough infantry available, he needed more Hussars. Blackstar, realizing that he can't take the army yet, is going to go for a raid just to buy himself some time. I like that's very smart. And we see that now H2O is running out of resources a little bit. He has a few deers available here, but now he has to go to the right side of the map, and the fort is still there. With 4,800 HP, it's still alive and kicking. So Blackstar is just okay for now. However, the economy for H2O is a lot better.
It is. This game, though, what it boils down to... he's gonna... these Sowars, they do manage to get away, though. Have they been snared? I think they have.
Yes,
Not
they
too
will
good. He
now.
definitely doesn't want this at this point. Behind in military and economy, he needs to stack up as many units as he can, and perhaps even get a big raid in if he wants to get back in this. Doesn't want to be taking the units.
Yeah, new sepoys
Losses.
joining here to prevent the hussars from trapping the camels. But on the other hand, look at how many hussars H2O now has.
That's a
And
lot of
hussar
hussars,
HP.
yeah.
I like hussar HP versus India a lot. You need it because of the Zembreks and sepoys. And this is actually looking like H2O is going to go for an additional push here.
Or 600 coin shipped to the Agra fort if he identifies that. You just put your units on top of it. If you take that coin, you win, right?
Yes.
Hasn't
I
seen it
think
though.
so.
Does get a raid in. You're going to kill some villages, perhaps. Certainly forcing them into the town centre. Gets behind them, body blocking. Perhaps can take a few out.
He's going to take not even one.
Not
Oh, but
one.
he's going
They
to get the one from the gold mine.
Yeah,
Oh,
and he's
they're
got
gonna
the
go down.
supporting longbows to do a lot of damage here. Not too good. He's gonna. Oh, this is not good. Just look at the villager pop. 55 for H2O, and currently going down for India. 34 to Black Star. Military pop isn't that bad, kind of disparate, but certainly ahead. 8 units ahead for H2O. And these sours just. Oh, if you get too close to Longbowmen, Minutemen coming out. This is where Black Star wants to take the fight. He knows he has to win this fight, even if he doesn't think he can.
If he puts some of the sepoys in melee with the sours, he's able to clean up, and H2O recognizes this. I think that is actually a very tough decision as being a general of your troops here, but he knows that if he would have stayed with his hussars, he would have lost more hussars as well. So he decides to sacrifice the longbowmen and run away with the hussars to use them for battle later on.
Okay, actually, that's what he needs. He needs to get back in this military pop now in favour for Black Star, only slightly, though having said that, H2O has just trained more units. If he can get a raid in, do some damage to his opponent's economy, if he can make something happen now, then he's still in this. But H2O is getting stronger the longer this game goes on, and it's going to be tough. We'll have to see what he can do. Certainly is in a commanding position at the moment in terms of composition. Can he make something happen? He's going to pick up a villager here.
What I really like here, by the way, is that Black Star's going full out sepoys and no Gurkha anymore. He realized that H2O was going for cav heavily, had a lot of cavalry available still, and not many more longbowmen. So just sepoys is really going to counter H2O's army. I really like that choice.
I like this as well. He's coming in on top of all of his opponent's villages here, though.
Yep. H2O...
pull them down.
Yes.
This is good. This is where his opponent's gathering, and he doesn't have the composition to be very effective against these sepoy here. If he can capture this position, he's in a good spot.
Look at this. Longbowman joining the battle, and now he
Yeah.
wants to trap the sepoys from running away. And this is very scary for Black Star because he doesn't want to lose the sepoys.
No. Oh dear, yeah. Snare them with the cavalry. The longbowmen do a lot of damage there.
And of course, the villagers get tanked a little bit because H2O has enough villagers anyway. But Black Star gets away, and that is actually... The thing is that this is actually a very funny composition because, however crazy it might sound, mass longbowmen with mass hussars do quite good for for British, because the hussars can body block camels, and longbowmen in a standing position will do very good damage because they fire so fast.
They're super fast. Those things are crazy. But I feel like the timing window for Black Star, if any hope was left, has closed.
I like this a lot, by the way. One man out there just to make sure that he knows what's going on the map. But like you said the timing window, yeah. The problem is that he's just behind on economy by quite a bit. The other thing is, though, that H2O has nowhere the means to age up. So if there's going to be a long H2 battle, I think it's still okay for Black Star.
Do you think so?
But I'm not sure if he should engage this at this point. No, I don't like this at all.
No.
He should be going towards his aggro for sure.
Yeah, I think that's
Villager brought in here to...
It's a herd.
Did he want... Actually, maybe he was trying to build a barracks to block the army from retreating. That would be crazy. It's like a StarCraft 2 thing. You build a barracks behind your opponent's army so he can't retreat. But anyway, the battle is going very good for H2O, I feel. So many hussars still available.
We do see the tiger claws pop out. Those things cost a lot of coin.
That's why he wants to fight.
Yeah, these things here, very good. 15 times 2 versus all infantry.
Yes.
Well, heavy infantry. So certainly going to be, against the longbowmen.
This is very good. Putting the sepoys in melee as well versus the hussars. Elephants are going to be brought in as well. You managed to save them with one sepoy.
Look at the cavalry. They've all gone down. It's just longbowmen here. The tiger claws have been cleared up, I think, but certainly a couple of units in the back. These things are all got a really good surround from the red units here. I think that swung it. That is what he needed.
This is a very good job here by Black Star. He microed it very nicely, but also kind of luring H2O, thinking that giving H2O the idea that he was winning it, luring it towards Agra Fort, shipping the Tiger Claws to trap it, and of course he's very close to reinforcements, as you saw. Camels coming in as well, and H2O now has to tank a lot with his villagers.
Yeah,
but the tower coming up here.
Yeah,
See
Tower
if
going to be at it, certainly going. Oh, but he's getting back here. Oh, and look at that, the redcoats coming out of the British consulate as well. Those things super strong, costing, of course, quite a lot of export. And now look at that, 36 military population, only 10 villages behind, forcing H2 off the hunt. He has no hunt. Where is he going to gather food? Certainly over here, this is kind of exposed, and it's certainly running out. India has taken map control and looks like he could get back into this game. The scores are very even. H2O on the back foot. What is going on?
Crazy, crazy. He doesn't have Minutemen available anymore, so this is going to be his last defense. He has to take down these Sowers, but on the other hand, if the Musketeers and Sepoys are going to come in range of Longmen, they will do a pretty good job nonetheless.
Look at that though. Musketeers popping out, but these Longbowmen, they want to stand there. They don't want to walk, because once the animation's set up, they can do lots of damage. They're going to have to get back here. Losing them. Red on top of his opponent's base, but at the same time, H2O's villagers are all gathering. He's perfectly okay with this. Oh no, adding down mills. Look at that. This is like the slow descent into losing the game. He doesn't have any map left. Mills cost 400 wood, an insane investment, and it's a slower gathering place to collect resources from. He's gonna slip behind here. He needs to catch up. Like what if Blackstar goes over there and that mill gets captured? What does H2O do?
Yeah, that's really indeed a problem. I'm really not sure. The thing is that he has this position left, but like if Blackstar goes there, and he should be able to identify that, and that looks like he's going to go there. The thing is, all this time, by the way, when H2O was kind of on the left side, Blackstar was getting all the resources on this part of the map. You see, there's no more food left, so he had enough food available there to get his army out. While H2O is now very pressured, and I'm not sure if he has 700 food in his deck even. I think he doesn't, because he used both 6 Longmen and the 6 Musketeer card. He's even gonna lose some villages to a raid here on the right side from Camels.
Wow, H2O, it's not looking good for him. Goes from the commanding position in this game to a Tiger Claw surprise pop. That sounds like some interesting lollipop flavor, but this is like, I don't know. At this point, though, H2O's villagers are still alive. Though he's not gathering, he's moving away, building more mills down, spending even more wood. Not too good. If he can hold the position, though, perhaps he'll be okay. But I don't know. H2O has full access to the hunts on the map.
The problem is he does have his Musketeer cards, but with the British consulate, the Sepoys are actually almost as good, or maybe even better, to be honest, because of this. They have so much HP. So actually, he's just fine making all-out Sepoys, and maybe H2O is going to resort to a Musketeer Longman army, because of course he does have food and wood available in the back. He has no more gold. The thing is that, look at this fat llama walking, by the way.
Yeah. Oh no, it gets converted. Oh, H2O needed that. That thing is like, that's like a fully fattened hunt. Like, he's going to go back and get it.
400 food. But Blackstar has control of the map, and he has food available on the left side here, and quite some food available on the far left side as well. And now I think he's going to go in for a final push with some British redcoats that were still alive. This is looking very grim for H2O.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what he's going to do here. He's going to bring some villagers perhaps, but...
It's the lack of hunt. That's what it is. Like, if he could still gather and not have to spend 1,200 wood, which if you convert into villager seconds, then compare it to food, is scary. If he hadn't had to spend that, could he have that many more military units on the field here? And he could look at, in this fight here, could look way better. But, you know, Blackstar hasn't had to make that investment. Just there it is, H2O already out. Look at that. Oh, Blackstar out as well, but H2O he doesn't even say GG, just leaves. Possibly on tilt, possibly quite angry with himself because he knew he was winning the game, probably should have anticipated the Tiger Claws or something like that. I don't know. H2O, the score is 2-2. The comeback, this series, it is something.
I think Blackstar played that very nice, very good of him. But yeah, H2O was in the lead for sure. I think the surprise definitely was very good, and maybe he wasn't even expecting Tiger Claws because generally the card is like,
it's so
not
bad,
many
right?
people think that's that good of a card, but.
No.
I think, yeah, credits to Blackstar for getting out of a very tough position. Of course, the Aga Fort helps a lot. I mean, it's not easy to take it down. That's the problem that every civilization faces. You can go for a timing push like H2O did, but if the other guy is just gonna fight you but not really commit, then you always stand near the Aga Fort for a few minutes and you take so much damage.
Yeah.
Also, of course, the fast reinforcement from Blackstar from the consulate, from the stable, always working on his in his favor. And it makes me think about, should H2O have not gone for an earlier timing push, like not going for 1 Rex in the stable, but a little bit less villagers, and put this not in houses and in villages, but rather into army earlier? Maybe that would have worked. It's hard to say. On the other hand, Blackstar, I liked how he played as well. I mean, he was aggressive at first. To be honest, I think he lost a little bit too much, but maybe he wasn't expecting the the longman and the musketeer, the middleman pop out at the same time. On the other hand, he delayed his imperial bureaucracy quite a bit, but he did it later on. Still, I think it was a very good time to still kick that in, because he had then map control and he then was safe enough to build from there. And yeah, what can I say? Well played by both players, to be honest.
What a game. The score is 2-2. Wow. Let's get into the next one, guys. Don't go anywhere. I think... How many keys do we have left? 2, right?
3.
3.
Out of my head, but I think we can do 1, yes.
Or wait, should we save them all? One repetitive keys, one game after the other, or do you want to do one now?
We have... hold on a second. Page 4... 5, 6, 7. We have 3 keys available still. I just want to say one more thing about this game. Maybe it would have been idea for H2O, given the fact that he invested in those villagers, to bring part of these villagers to the front battle to tank up when it was really critical. Because he was very, very close. Don't forget that, guys. He was very close at breaking through. And if he had brought perhaps like 5 villagers to tank up some more shots, maybe put like even a few musketeers in front of these longmen who were getting annihilated by the camels, if you remember that, near the consulate and fort. Maybe that would have changed. It's all very hard to say, but look at this. Also, H2O got this raid in from 40 to 32, so Black Star lost 8 villages to this raid from H2O. I think I would have brought a few villages just to make sure you can kind of tank a little bit more. Because the longer it goes, the better it is for India.
The chat is going wild. The game has just finished. 730 viewers, Benny. How do you feel?
730, wow, crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Thank you all for tuning in, of course. And very nice that we have so many viewers here enjoying the stream.
And the game browser, look at that. Like, that's just silly. That is like, some guy just signs in, he's like, I want to play AoE 3.
He's not going to find the game, he's only going to find the Twitch TV / Age of Empires advertisements.
And there's going to be no one playing either. Everyone's here. Like, there are 1,389 people online. And, like, more than half of those people, I mean, perhaps not all of them are playing AoE 3. Certainly, I don't know. What a series. This is what I think everyone wanted. The Black Star versus H2O finals. If there are any people in this tournament who I thought were going to stand a chance against H2O, it would have been Black Star or Nagayumi.
It is definitely, I think, Black Star more than Nagayumi, as we see, of course, that Black Star also defeated Nagayumi in the semifinals. But indeed, it is the final that we all wanted, the final that we all hoped for, and so far it's for sure the best final, with a 2-2 score, making it very even as possible, in fact. And it means that we might get to this 5-4 for either player, going as close as possible.
Wow. H2O hasn't played a China Mirror since 2006, apparently, but that would